Hey guys, Nutty Joe here. Welcome back to the channel. Got a little disheveled hair and scrape on my nose for you guys this time around. Figured I'd look a little bit more presentable today. But anyways, we're going to be getting on to this video's topic, anime topic, which is going to be these fantasy genre, like very generic, long anime titles. Like we're talking about the once I was an adventurer until I tripped down a mountain and fell into a well, then I woke up into another world, and now I started again working at fast food or something like that. These titles are so obnoxious and out there, and honestly for the most time now, I've been kind of ignoring these titles just because it didn't sound appealing, right? It's like, why the heck, who's writing this stuff? It's kind of silly. I mean, I guess you get the whole synopsis of that anime within that title, which hey, might be nice, right? Maybe you kind of have an idea of what's going on there, but it just never seemed appealing to me. Well, last week I kind of started getting onto a binge of these titles. I figured I'd give one a shot. I'd be like, you know what? Let's see how it is. What happened was, from this anime season, there's one called, and I'm gonna butcher this. First I'm gonna do it in Japanese, just so I can butcher it, and then I'll do English. Shinmai Osan Bokensha Saiko Party ni Shinu Hodo Kitarate Muteki ni Naru, which English translation is, the Osan newbie adventurer trained to death by the most powerful party became invincible. Started that. It's still ongoing. Actually, it was kind of interesting. I mean, it's not great. Okay. Let's just put this out there right now. It's not gonna be amazing, but it was entertaining. And that's what I'm looking for right now. For some reason, I've got a hankering for just something fantasy, something doesn't have to be like mind-blowing. I'm not looking for the next like 10 out of 10 anime, but I wanted something, figure out to give some of these things a shot, because there's so many of these that have been coming out with these, long titles that maybe on my anime list sits like at a score of like a 6 or a 7 that a lot of people sometimes just ignore. So I thought, hey, I'll give it a shot. What would you know? It's actually kind of entertaining. I caught up to it. I'm actually thoroughly entertained. It's sitting right now on my analyst at a 6.98, and honestly, I could that's average. That's good. That's actually like people look at these scales like 1 to 10, and anything below like a 7 or 8, it's like unwatchable. But you gotta think about it differently, right? Technically on that scale, I think a 5 is an average. So a 6.98 is actually pretty great. It's entertaining. But obviously right now, since it's on a weekly release, I've gotta wait for the next episode, and unfortunately because, of the Olympics, they took an off week, so now we're not gonna get another episode till next week. So I then decided, wait, that was pretty entertaining. For having a weird, long title and looking kind of generic, it was actually pretty cool. So then I moseyed on to the next one. The next one I decided to watch is actually finished, completed, and this one was called, I'll do Japanese again and do English, Kaiko Sarete Ankoku Heishi no Slow na Second Life. And I'm pretty sure that's what it is. Sanjudai no Slow na Second Life, which means, translates to chilling in my 30s after getting fired from the Demon King's army. Sitting at like a 7.02, it's finished. Thought, okay, do you want? Looks pretty generic. MC looks incredibly generic as hell, but why not, right? As a fellow now 30-year-old, I figured I owe, I guess, these 30-year-old like MC animes a chance. Same deal. I'm not gonna get too spoilery with a lot of this stuff, just in case anyone wants to go and watch it themselves. But it's nothing to write home about. It's very generic. It had some, I will say, it had an interesting twist about halfway that I have not seen quite a lot of different anime do, which I thought was pretty interesting. Wasn't my favorite. Maybe if I go into review, I'll go into that further why it wasn't necessarily my favorite way to go about it. But it kept things like a little fresh. It was something like, hey, like I haven't seen a lot of anime do that, so it was pretty cool. I think it rightfully deserved like that 6.5, 7 score for myself. But it was entertaining. I was surprised. It made me realize that there's actually maybe a treasure trove of all these like anime that's worth watching. Maybe they won't be the most memorable, but they'd be worth it. Like it's got like interesting characters, a premise to it. Unfortunately, it didn't do anything too out of the box where it'll probably be like a personal favorite, or it's a year or two from now I'm gonna remember it fondly and stuff like that. But it did the job. Sometimes I'm just sitting here and I just kind of want something just to have on the side or just watch while I'm doing other things. and it did its job. I was thoroughly entertained. Again, I'm not going to necessarily go out and recommend it. It wasn't that good in that sense, but it was watchable, it was entertaining. That kind of got me thinking again, just like, sometimes we can't judge a book by its cover, right? Sometimes maybe we gotta stop and think about, well, let's not, does every anime we have to watch have to be an 8, a 9, a perfect 10 out of 10? Not everything can be like Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. Not everything can be Overlord for some, or what else you have? The Rising of Shield Hero, which is the more well-known ones. For some reason, I can't think of them off the top of my head. And of course, there's like some huge ones out there that, of course, everybody knows and loves. But it's like that, right? You can't have every single show out there be a 10 out of 10. Not every show is going to be a hit. You're not going to have the next Demon Slayer every single time, but I think it's still good to kind of like check these shows out, because I ended up liking these a lot more than I did. And even with the lower ones too, which kind of will go into the next one, but going back to the Chilling in My 30s, it wasn't that bad. I was kind of impressed. The last one I watched, number 3, I guess you could say, and I'm gonna butcher this one to hell, was Saikyu Tank no Meiku Koda Koryaku Tairoku 9909 No Rare Skill Mochi Tank Yusha Party wo Suyo Sararu. The strongest tank labyrinth raids, a tank with a rare 9,999 resistance skill, got kicked from the hero's party. It's sitting at my list at a 6.11. This is the lowest one I've reviewed, or not reviewed, watched of the bunch. Might review it at some point. I actually think this one has a lot more unjustified hate than it deserves. A lot of these other ones I've watched are sitting at a much higher score, like it's 7 or higher, 6.9, 6.8. Those ones I felt were actually less entertaining than this one. But I think this one gets a lot more hate because the main character, Red, he's essentially just like a bootleg Rising of Shield hero. I cannot remember his name right now. But it's kind of like that. So I think because people look at it and think, oh, they're just trying to copy that, lower score. Personally, I enjoyed it more than Chilling in My 30s. Kind of toe-to-toe with another one I watched way back, which was Banished from the Hero's Party. I have retired my way in the country, so I already opened an apothecary or something, which got 2 seasons, by the way, which I think is nutty, because it was okay, but I just thought it was nutty that I got 2 seasons. But again, it's one of those that was just kind of good watch if you just have nothing else to watch. But anyways, I think this one, The Strongest Tank Labyrinth Raid, was actually more entertaining than the Chilling in My 30s ones, but it actually got a lot more hate. But it just goes to show that what would be a good analogy for it? It's just like, hey, when you're walking down the street and you find a dollar bill on the floor, oh hey, that dollar bill, maybe that's a Demon Slayer or something like that, or maybe your boy Coneman, a dark horse. These ones are kind of finding a penny on the floor, oh cool, penny, maybe a nickel. I do think that a lot of these anime deserve to have a watch. I would say that, hey, maybe you got nothing else to watch. If you're thinking, man, I just caught up with whatever is on right now, Oshinoko Season 2, or whatever other big animes out right now, whether it's Demon Slayer or something, I need something else to watch. I need some sort of filler to watch. Give one of these long title generic ones a chance. If you need a filler show, kind of giving me a newfound respect for them in a sense. Like I said, if you're gonna be waiting for all those perfect anime to be released back to back to back, it's not gonna happen. You're gonna be waiting a long time. Why not just pick up a few generic ones and just entertain yourself there? Or if you don't want to go that route, you could always just watch was it Notoko-chan? I already forgot what it's called. I gotta find it. The deer anime. You know which one I'm talking about. It's got deer. You take care of deer. High school girls. That stuff. But it's funny. It's good. But yeah. That's just my opinion. That's just what I want to talk about today. Figured, what are your thoughts? Are there any Diamond in the Rough anime, or is there any anime for you that you found that you honestly didn't think was going to be good at all because of the titling or the rating it had or reviews, but then it turned out actually being hey, this was actually pretty entertaining. Something that you wouldn't go out and recommend to your friends, but if someone's asking, want to kill some time, I just want something to just turn my brain off and watch. That's what you got. Let me know in the comments. I think that's gonna end this video. I'm gonna probably think about maybe my next one being a review. I just gotta think about how I want to kind of set up my review, section it off, how I want to do the scoring. It's probably gonna be a bit more scripted because I think it's gonna take a lot more thought to be a little bit more critical with these reviews without being like a first impressions type of thing, but we'll see how it goes. Anyways, thanks for watching. If you like what you hear, go ahead and subscribe, do all that good stuff. And again, let me know in the comments what you think, what could be an anime that wouldn't necessarily recommend, but you got time to kill, you'd watch. But thanks for watching. I will see you guys later.